Alright. Now, I know my channel is mostly going to be about board games, card games, things of that nature. Occasional
Yeah.
movie rants and whatnot. But I'm also going to do occasional video game plays like
You've come to the right
Bloodborne
place.
here.
Yharnam is the home of blood administration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yharnam blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
It's been a while since I started up a new character, so I didn't know it jumped right into a cutscene. I figure I'll let the cutscenes play. This isn't a speed run or anything. I guess you can call it the opposite. It's a slow run. I was just going to be sitting here playing Bloodborne anyway, so I figured I might as well make a video for my channel, because why not? I figure what I'm going to do is just play a simple, slow run-through on Bloodborne, which has become one of my favorite games. I figure maybe I'll do it for people who might be just getting new to the game. Do a video that I wish I'd had out when I started playing. Something that might have saved me countless hours of frustration. So with the character, I'm going to go with the military veteran. When you're playing Bloodborne, this is one of the unfortunate things. The first time you play Bloodborne, you have to make this decision before you really know anything about the game. And while, as the game plays, you can obviously advance your character however you want, this is an important decision for how you start, because it determines really what weapon you want to start with. There are the three starting weapons: the saw cleaver, the cane, and the axe. Now, the axe is a pure strength weapon, so you'd want a high strength. The cane is a pure skill weapon, so you'd want something with a high skill. And the saw cleaver is in between. I think it goes fairly evenly off strength and skill, so you'd want something that goes fairly even between strength and skill. Nothing prepares you for that. So the first time I played a game, I made a noble scion because I thought it sounded cool, and then took the axe, and it was not the most efficient build, especially for someone. I've never played any Dark Souls games, never. So when I got Bloodborne, I was completely new to this system, and it was shocking. So if you're just starting and you want to maybe play the cane, the professional is probably pretty good. If you want to also have a decent gun, to go with the cane, the Noble Scion is not bad. It starts with a really decent blood tinge. If you want to start with the axe, the Violent Pass is probably the best. Because I think it's the best starting weapon overall, I'm going to go with the military veteran for this run through. The saw cleaver and the military veteran for this run through.
You found yourself a hunter.
Alright, that opening scene, I think tells a lot about the game. The game deals a lot with nightmares and dreams. And the important thing to know about this game, going into it, they don't explain everything to you. They leave a lot open to interpretation, which I personally think is pretty cool. Now, for those of you who maybe never played this game before or unfamiliar with the series, R1 is a soft light attack. R2 is the heavy attack. If you hit L1, you'll transform your weapon. With no weapon, you go into like a double-handed type thing. And if you press and hold R2 in any form, it'll do what's called a charge attack. And that's going to be important for what we're going to try to do here. As you see, there's a werewolf. Not a full health werewolf, but still fairly impossible to defeat without weapons, which is kind of the first lesson of Bloodborne. You're going to die. You're going to die a lot. But there's also another lesson here. Now, it's been a while since I've done this, so it may not work out as I hope, but I'm going to try. Try to work that second lesson in here. And the second lesson of Bloodborne is get the butt. If you can get the butt, you can do what's called a visceral attack. Do a charged R2 followed by an R1, and it does a tremendous amount of damage, as you just saw. But if you die there to the werewolf, don't feel bad. Don't. I think it's designed for you to die there. I think leaving this area without your weapons is not how the game is designed to be played. So the first time you die, it's fairly scripted. You're supposed to. And then you go to a major part of the game where you're going to spend a lot of time. From what I understand, for people familiar with the Dark Souls series, it's the equivalent of bonfires, I guess. But again, I'm not really sure because I've never played Dark Souls. So, but if you die there, don't feel bad. Oh, shoot. We might die here fighting this guy. Alright, we're gonna get him. Again, those they call them backstabs. If you can get behind them and do a charged R2, they call them backstabs, and it stuns them, and then it lets you demolish them. We're gonna try to zoom through here and not get killed. If you hold circle, you'll run. If you hold circle while climbing the ladder, you will climb fast. And up here we find our first lantern. We're going to try to activate it and use it really fast to travel back to... Oh, come on. Shit. Now you have a second or so after you do that visceral attack, after you do that charge attack, the backstab. So if you need to maneuver to get more behind them, you get a second or so. It's got a fairly decent window, at least in New Game. I've never really played New Game Plus, but you got a little bit of time to reposition yourself. Now we used the lantern to come back. You can also, the first time you die, this is where you would go. Alright, first thing we'll see here is the messenger bowl. This is where you'll come to buy stuff. The further you get in the game, the more stuff will be here to buy. You're going to see this armor set. Ignore it. Well, we're going to get it for free. I'm not going to actually buy anything right now. Now, eventually, when you come here, you'll be able to use this doll to level up. She's how you'll level up. So because it's the first time we covered the Hunter Agreement, it's going to ask us to choose what weapon do you want. I want the Saw Cleaver. And you can have a choice between the Hunter Pistol and the Hunter Blunderbuss. The Hunter Pistol does more damage and can stun at a greater range than the Blunderbuss. The Blunderbuss does less damage, but has a better chance of stunning something the closer you are to it. I'm going to go with the Hunter's Pistol. I prefer that, although only marginally so over the Blunderbuss. We'll go ahead and equip these, and we'll also check. I don't have anything. Oh, no, they do. So the saw cleaver says one of the trick weapons of the workshop. This saw is effective at drawing the blood of beasts and transforms into a long cleaver to make use of centrifugal force. The saw, with its set of bloodletting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt. It does bonus damage against beasts. I think it's like a 20% increase in damage. And the pistol is made for the workshop at the workshop of the hunters at stalking beasts. Hunter firearms are especially crafted to employ quicksilver bullets fused with the wielder's own blood, boosting damage against beasts. The pistol is quicker draw than the blunderbuss, allowing for speedier responses to attacks. That is true too. You're going to recover from shooting the pistol faster than you will the blunderbuss. This is where everything that you can only carry so many things. Like as you see here, you can carry 20 blood vials and 20 bullets. Once you have more than 20, they're going to get put into your storage locker here. Now, for blood vials and quicksilver bullets, when you die or return to the dream, the game will automatically take out however many you have in storage up to your maximum carrying capacity. So if you've got 100 in storage, and when you return to the Hunter's Dream, you're down to 2 blood vials, it'll take 18 out of your storage to put you back up to 20. It only does that for blood vials and quicksilver bullets. So if you want to restock your Molotov cocktail supply, you have to manually do it. Talk to Gurman for the first time.
To the Hunter's Dream. This will be your home. For now. I am Gehrman, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it. This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find.
Nothing creepy about that last part.
Alright.
So this is another lesson. Talk to all NPCs more than once, because what they say might change. Eventually we'll come here to upgrade our weapons, repair our weapons, things like that, and eventually we'll come here to upgrade ourselves with glyphs and stuff. Runes. So here's an interesting thing about Gurman. If you attack him, he just vanishes, like in a mist. Now granted, we're in the Hunter's Dream, so ostensibly this is all a dream, but I think that's interesting enough to point out for the time being. We'll delve into some interesting stuff with the doll once she's active as well. So the first place we want to go is we want to go back to the sick room, which is where we started. And now there wasn't a lantern there before, there will be now. We're going to go up and speak to our next NPC. One of my big problems with the current state of the game is the cutscene of the loading screens here. They're potentially very spoiler heavy. Because if you read something before you've unlocked it in the game, it could potentially ruin a section of the game for you.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry.
Then I'm very sorry. But
I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka.
I am Yosefka.
The patients here
The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection.
I know
I know that you hunt for us.
For our town, but
For
I'm
our
sorry.
town, but I'm sorry.
Please,
Please.
this is all that I
This
can
is
do.
all that I can do.
Now, Yosefka's blood vial, it's like a regular blood vial, but increases more health and stamina.
Now-
So it's pretty useful.
Now, go.
You can only
Good hunting.
And good hunting.
you can only carry one at a time, but you can come back here anytime to get another one.
Are you still in
Are
need
you
of
still
something?
in need of something?
But I have nothing
But
more
I
to
have
offer.
nothing more to offer.
Please,
Please,
try to understand
try
my
to understand
position.
my position.
I can only pray.
I can only pray
for a fruitful
for a
hunt.
fruitful hunt.
You're going to end up coming back here quite a lot throughout the game. To be honest, I hardly ever use the Yosefka's vial. You have to equip it down here. I'll also equip some Molotovs. But I've never had the. Usually in a fight, if I have something equipped there, it's more important than. Generally, if you're that low on health when fighting a boss or something, you're probably just screwed anyway. So yeah, I've never really made much use of the Yosefka's vial, but that might be as a flaw on me as a player. We're going to go ahead and kill everything here. Just because we're going to be coming back on the other side of that gate in a minute. I'd rather not have anything here. Potentially. Make sure no... Oh, see, he dropped something. So sometimes you'll see these little, like, soul fire things. That means they've dropped, like, a collectible. First thing that I noticed about this game when I started playing is just how gorgeous it is. Just phenomenally detailed. And you're going to go to almost everything you see. Almost everything you see there is a level that you will eventually visit. I think that's what blows me away. And if you ever see these little incense burner things, it means there'll be a door or a window that you can talk at.
Oh, must be a hunter. And one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, fellow outsider. We must have had a fine time of it. Yharnam have a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This time is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good. Pale blood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the healing church. The church controls all knowledge on blood administration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yharnam lies the town of the healing church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the healing church, special blood. Or so they say. Yharnamites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance.
Gilbert is a chatty guy.
Across the valley to the east of Yharnam, you'll find the Cathedral Ward. Deep within lies the old main cathedral, said to be the source of blood. I haven't heard of pale blood, but That's your best bet to do anything to do with unique types of blood.
Alright. Now, you're going to encounter a lot of NPCs, like Gilbert, throughout the game. My suggestion, come back and visit all of them after you beat a boss. Beating bosses is what advances the game's timeline, so you'll notice the sun is going to be a little lower in the sky after the first boss. Eventually it'll be gone. And defeating every boss increases the timeline a certain amount. Sometimes it's not an even amount, but that's not really important. So after you beat a boss, come back and speak to Gilbert, and go to speak to any of the other NPCs. And I'll try to remember to do that as we play through. Oh, you son of a gun. Now, as you saw there, I got hit, but my health is almost full. After you take a hit, there's a certain window where if you continue hitting the enemy, you'll regenerate health. Now, this is a shortcut. You could jump down here to cut off a large portion of the track, but I'm not going to. I'm going to show you all of Central Yharnam. But that's a good shortcut if you're just trying to speed through this area. Ooh. Son of a gun. Alrighty. Now, down here, there's going to be a group of 4 guys. They will mess you up if you give them half a chance. The key is to not give them half a chance. Shit. Pardon my cursing. I'm going to try to keep this channel work safe. It is just in my natural vernacular to swear a lot. But I will try to keep it under control. Alright. I'm going to top off. I like to keep my health as full as possible. Especially, this street can be very dangerous. So we're going to come down here. We're going to open up this shortcut. And you'll recognize this area as where we first came through. Yosefka's clinic is over there to the left, and the ladder we climbed up to our first thing is up there. Now, you're going to look down here, and you're going to see just a monster of an enemy. And you're going to think, well, there must be something awesome down there. There isn't. There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he is the meanest guy you're going to meet in the game. He is one of the... throughout the entire game. Now, keep in mind that the enemies do scale. As you beat bosses, certain enemies get a lot tougher. And he tends to scale well with the enemies being defeated. So he's always a big threat. I don't think I'm going to take him on. It's been a while since I fought one of them. And they'll kill me in 1 or 2 hits. And it's for nothing. There's literally nothing down there to get. Sometimes killing them, however, can be good, because they'll drop crystal shards that you can use to upgrade your weapons. But since I don't have a strategy to lay out on how to beat them right now, I'm going to avoid them. I never have much luck with them. They are my kryptonite in this game. They have the weirdest parrying windows, at least for me, and I can never seem to quite figure them out. So we got another one of those incense burners.
You that outsider? Anything to do with you. Cut along, will ya?
You don't necessarily have to come back to him after every boss. He's not a very important NPC. Gilbert, however, almost anything with a name. If they give you a name, you want to go talk to him. So we're entering into an area called I call the street, that is very dangerous. You can die real quick here. Now, another lesson for Bloodborne, there's no single way to do anything. There are multiple ways to do almost everything in this game. One thing you can do here, you can ignore it. You could run up, and there's a set of stairs just around the corner there. Run up those stairs, and then shoot down the walkway to get to the next section of the game. And most of these guys won't follow you. So you can just shoot past this section if you want to or need to. You don't have to stay to go through here. I wish I'd known that the first time I played through the game. I didn't think about it. So I spent almost a day trying to figure out how to learn to clean this street out. I will show you the tactic that I discovered works best for me. But again, keep in mind, there's no one way to do anything. And all these guys are always in the same place. That guy is always creeping behind the stairs here. There'll always be that guy up the stairs there. There'll always be this guy sleeping down here with the gun. Now, sometimes there'll be people walking. Alright. I like to travel along this upper walkway here. Now, depending on how long it takes you to get here, the configuration may be a little different. This guy may be already down at that gate, and these guys may already be up here. Those guys with the sabers will mess you up. Almost anything in Bloodborne has the potential to mess you up. But there are some things that these guys with the torches are fairly easy as long as you get in the first shots. They can be pretty quick with those torches, however. And they can give you... They generally won't kill you unless they're with something else. But they can be... I think it's the guy over there on top of the thing that was shooting at us. Eventually, they'll forget. Whatever is afflicting the Yharnamites gives them a very short attention span. Now, we can take care of a few of these guys from up here with Molotovs, so we won't have to deal with them when we go down. Now, there's a bunch of guys that patrol over there. Alright, so next I come over here, and there's a little drop down. You gotta be careful though, because you don't want to hit people that are on patrol. So I drop down. You're gonna want to come over here. There's a dog. Dogs are fast and do a lot of damage. This here is your hidey hole. Most things can't see you once you get over there. Or at least the guys with the guns can't, and that's what's important. See if we can get him with a Molotov. Alright. Now there are, I believe, 2 groups of patrols. Yeah, one there and one there. This could get real bad. You only want to aggro one of them. I think they're going to turn and start going the other way. Nope. Shit. I'm going to run up here, because that was going to get bad. So I'm going to run up here for a second, just to clear things out. But I said we'd clear out that area, so we will clear out that area. But there were... You don't want to fight 4 guys. That's generally not going to go your way. Take care of this guy. I normally clear the street a little cleaner than that, but done is done. I believe that's done anyway. I don't think there's any more. Later in the game, this is a really good place to come farm. Not necessarily blood echoes, but blood vials and bullets. You'll get a ton of blood vials and bullets from here. We'll have to go up there to get it. And then I said earlier, if you're coming down here, you can just run around here, run right past everybody, and come up these stairs, and then shoot right down there, and most people are going to leave you alone. They will not follow you through that arch. One or two guys might, the more aggressive guys, but most everybody else is going to forget about you and go about their business. All right. Another method for the street is pebbles. Using pebbles to draw them out. Now this is going to be the first real opportunity to learn how to parry something, and that is with the L2 button. Most things, I want to get a hit in because we're not going to be able to kill him in one visceral attack. But when he comes up to you, the second he raises his arm, shoot. Oh shoot! I don't know why that. Sometimes it doesn't. Raise arm, shoot, visceral attack. Now, I call them ogres. I don't really know what their real names are. They can do a ton of damage if they start hitting you. But generally, and I'm going to say generally because it doesn't always work the way I would hope, they raise their arm, you fire the gun, you hit L1, you visceral attack them. Now, right now, since we're not leveled up, we aren't killing them in one visceral attack, but it doesn't take much leveling up to get to that point. We're going to equip the torch. It's not necessarily good right now, but eventually we'll be in darker places very quickly, actually, and it will be very useful. Alright, sorry about that. I got a message. I got a friend who's in the hospital, so I just wanted to be sure to check it in case it was something involving her, but it wasn't. It was just stupid Verizon sending me a text message. Last night actually, I upgraded online to the Note 5, so they're just now acknowledging that they received payment for that. Verizon doing things in their own time. I only ordered the phone 12 hours ago. Birds, I was squawking about Verizon. The birds can be a pain in the butt. Not quite as bad as the dogs, but close. But they're very linear. They attack in a straight line. So if you can get to their side, you should be okay. They'll shoot right past you. Now we're going to go up here to get something. You could continue up there to the next level, the next part of the level, but I'm not going to because I want to open up the shortcut. The shortcut to the first lamp that we found. So we're going to go another way. We're going to go back up here. And then we're going to clear out all this garbage here. And as you can see, there's a shortcut. Alright, they didn't give us a name, so we don't care about him. I call this the kennel shortcut because there's a ton of dogs around here, and that one, for some reason, is on top of this cage instead of in this cage. And him jumping off this cage apparently opened the door. Oh, he's coming down. Now, I think if you don't kill these, they'll bust out of the cages and come after you. And like I said, the dogs can give you a bad day. They suck. And they'll give you a bad day throughout the entire game. They're one of those monsters that scale decently with each boss that's killed. Now, we're not going to venture too far down here right now, because I want to get that shortcut open. But we're going to come down here and kill this dog and talk to this NPC. Alright, she didn't give us a name, but she did ask us a question. So she's one you definitely want to check back with. Not necessarily after you beat a boss. She's looking for a safe place, a safe haven. So once you unlock a safe haven, you'll want to come back and talk to her. And we do that fairly quickly. Yeah, like a dog. Even if they don't bust out of the cages, they are an easy 38 blood echoes. Alright, so now we're going to come over here. And we're going to grab this collectible. And we will ready our torch. Because like I said, once we get into the dark places, the torch helps quite a bit. We're going to open this door. We're going to mess this guy up. We're going to mess his dad up. We're going to pillage his brother's body. Pillage his dad's body. And we'll just break some of his stuff. Because, you know, we killed him and killed his dad, so might as well break some of his stuff, too. Open this door. Gotta come running from the top. Now, some people like to play without targeting. I'm not that good, I guess. I like to target. We're going to come over here and find the switch. Or no switch. We're just going to open the gate. And this brings us back to Gilbert and that first thing. So from now on, when you come back here, you can avoid the street entirely unless you want to farm and just come this way. Now, there's no one way to do anything in this game. You could go through here and go back to that front door and back towards the old lady, and there's a warehouse you can clear out that has some goods, but I'm going to go up here first. There's another way that I like to do it. I like to get the armor first. The armor, and we can get some insight. And getting insight before you fight your first boss can be tremendous. Insight is what's going to let us level up our character. And generally you get it in this game. I bet a lot of people will come up here and take a left. Go down there, you'll fight a boss. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go down there. There are two werewolves, and I'm going to tell you, if you try to fight them one-on-one right now, they're probably going to hand you your butt. But we're going to aggro them, get hit apparently, and run back here. We're going to top off our health. Now, werewolves apparently have a little bit of vampiring, because they can't go through doors. So we can take advantage of that fact. You want to be careful, though, because they are still dangerous. They have a tremendous reach. And they will mess you up. And they have a grab attack. I don't think the grab attack will one-shot you at this level, but why risk it? I think it takes about 5 shots with the charged R2. Kill one of them. Now the unfortunate thing with doing it this way is sometimes they'll fall through the architecture, fall through the graphics of the stairs there, and you'll lose their loot. And they can sometimes give good loot. They give... see, he just vanished. Shoot. They can give you a ton of blood vials, and sometimes they give you blood shards, which is good for leveling up your... Right, see, he didn't fall through, so that's good. So 3 blood vials. Not too shabby, especially when we only had to use 1 in the fight. Now we want to run over here for a collectible. Another bloodstone shard. Now you could go down here, and this is the what do they call it? The fountain ward or whatever, and that's where you fought the ogre. And we went over there to the kennel shortcut, and we came up here to get a collectible, and we didn't go up those stairs. Well, those stairs lead around here, and there are some people to kill. There's a group of them, so they can be pretty dangerous. We're going to ignore them for now. I got somewhere else I want us to go. We're going to go down here. If they'd been close, I might have tried to kill them, but I would have had to wait for them to do an entire cycle around their little area. And we'll just get them later. And down there is the street. One good thing about Bloodborne, if you explore, you're probably going to find something cool. It's not always the case. There are some dead ends and what have yous, but they did a good job of putting collectibles at fairly regular intervals. This is the first really dangerous area. This is the first area where I'm legitimately worried about possibly dying. Mostly because these half-beast guys are very, very tough. They will mess you up quick. Like 2 or 3 shot you. Now there are a couple of strategies you can employ when fighting them. If you're good with the reposting with the gun, go up when they raise their hand, shoot them, shoot. Then you can do this. You can just spam them. You're faster than they are, and with the saw cleaver, even without raising your character's level at all, you should have enough stamina to get them, to kill them without them getting a shot in. So we'll just try it on this guy. We'll just spam it. So as you saw, he didn't stand much of a chance. Now the dudes with the javelins are a little stronger. I think they do more damage and they're faster. So we're really going to try to get a visceral attack. There we go. And one visceral attack wasn't enough. Alright. So that's these guys. Now there's also a rat I want to take care of on the lower level. Because he could give you a bad day. If I can get off the architecture. There we go. So that rat I want dead. This way if I fall down, he's not going to surprise attack me. There's really nothing down this end. So there's really not a tremendous need to clear it out. There's a ladder to come back up. And it's really just infested with a bunch of rats down there. And the rats individually aren't too bad, but if they start jumping you in numbers, they could end your run. You know, they could send you back to the hunter's dream real quick. And dying in this game is going to happen. It's not the end of the world. Even if you lose a ton of blood echoes are going to come. You're going to make blood echoes. The worst that happens is you might have to complete a bit of the level again. And they do pretty good at giving you regular shortcuts and whatnot. Now this here, that guy, is our he's tough. So don't feel bad about cheesing him. Don't feel bad about cheesing anything in this game, because everything in this game is really tough and can give you a bad day. I should have manned up and, you know, shown you can hit the Molotov cocktail, but then I should have showed you some actual tactics, and I didn't. I got worried. But you can repost him, just like the others of his kind. He's a little tougher, but he's definitely doable. As you saw, a couple Molotov cocktails take him right out. So now we're going to go ahead and change our armor. This, as far as I know, is the exact same armor that we saw for sale in the Hunter's Dream. And you can just get it for free right here. Okay. So now, I want to get us some insight. So we're going to try to fall down here without taking too much damage. Even if you fall like this all the way to the bottom, not the end of the world, you can survive it. These things start coming to life almost immediately, so go there, grab the Quicksilver bullets, and come over here to this ladder. Then you want to come over here to this ladder. Then we're going to try to get this thing that's being defended by crows. A twofer. Alright, so we're going to take a look at some stuff in our inventory now. We've been getting these cold blood dues, as you saw. Now, you could consume those to get blood echoes. I would not do that until you were going to use them, because if you die, you don't want to lose them. The Madman's Knowledge, at least the first one, I would use right away to get you that first point of insight, because you have to have the insight when you return to the Hunter's Dream to activate the doll. Beyond that, I would use Madman's Knowledge conservatively. The higher your insight, the more damage certain things do to you in this game. Shit. This is... I generally die to ogres. I don't like the fact that I almost did here. The ogres sometimes will give you fits. The visceral attacks don't hit, or the timing on your parrying might be a little off. The important thing, I guess, in those situations is don't panic. Retreat. Take a few steps back. Now, you don't want to retreat on everything in this game. Some things, if you retreat, you're going to have a bad day. But with the ogres, I like to retreat, or maybe duck behind them. I'm going to go ahead and open this gate. Now this is an important NPC. She's a story NPC. She has a really good story that you'll uncover throughout the game.
I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you a hunter? From my mum. You come back from the hunt. She went to find him. Now she's gone too. I'm all alone. I'm scared. Mum, what's your throat? It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box. It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs. And when Daddy forgets a song, you play it for him so he remembers. It's not enough sleeping enough without it.
Alright. So she gave us a music box. A small music box received from a young Yharnam girl plays a song shared by her mother and father. Inside the lid is a small scrap of paper, perhaps an old message. 2 names can be made out, however faintly. Viola and Gascoigne. So you want to remember that. Now we're going to go up here. This is that area that we didn't go to earlier. I'm going to try to aggro 3 summons. Pop off. Well, I managed to hit nobody with that Molotov cocktail. Good thing about dogs, they do not like bullets. If you're getting aggroed by a dog and need a breather, shoot them. And they don't do a ton of damage, but it will knock them on their butts. Now we get the guy. Oh, did I get the guy with the gun with the Molotov? Sweet. Nice. So now we just have this dog. Apparently I hit a hole. Blood vials. Quicksilver bullets. And then this leads back up to the bridge. And that was the way we went. So now we're back up on the bridge. We're going to go back through the house. We could go back to the Hunter's Dream and spend all of our blood echoes, but I'm going to be ballsy. I'm going to try to finish what I want to do today without going back to the Hunter's Dream. We'll see if I can do it. So we're back here to the dog area. And the lady we spoke to over there. Now we're going to go clear out this warehouse. Now the first thing you want to be aware of, there's a half beast man. Or one of the partially turned beast guys. Right there. Tried to reposition, trying to make it a better shot, but wasn't having any of it. I'm going to come back up here. We're going to destroy some boxes. We're going to jump out onto this ledge. You want to be careful. Falling too far down here will kill you. Clear out this stuff. We're going to go meet our first hunter NPC. Eileen the Crow.
Oh, a hunter, are you? And an outsider. What a mess you've been caught up in. And tonight of all nights. Here, to welcome the new hunter.
Bold Hunter's marks are good because you can use them to return to the last lantern you were at without losing any of your blood echoes.
Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now.
And again, talked to her multiple times.
Still lingering about. What's wrong? A hunter unnerved by a few beasts. No matter. Without fear in our hearts. A little different from the beasts themselves.
Now, you can go up here to gestures, and the Cape Shakeoff seems to be a favorite among people who play the game. Now, Eileen, you'll meet again and again. She's got a story. She's another storyline NPC. You can also attack her here and try to kill her. I wouldn't advise it. She's really tough. And while everything in this game is technically killable, even at this level, you could do the entire game without leveling up once. She's tough. She's really fast. And you'll eventually get her badge anyway. So we're going to ignore her. And we're going to move on. Now you'll see a few things hanging here. You can swing at them, but I've occasionally fallen. So I prefer to shoot at them. Shoot. Alright. The blunderbuss is really good for this, because it has a spray shot. With the pistol, however, you gotta be a little more precise. Alright. I think that is it for up here. I think we can go down to the bottom now. Alright. I like to go drop down up here in this far corner. Ooh, guy with the gun saw us. Now, when you drop down, if you hit the circle right at the same time you hit your roll, won't necessarily save a ton of damage, but you won't be stunned, so you'll be ready to go. We're going to try to sneak up on this guy. Just because, like I said, these guys are the biggest threat to end your run. Nope. And they are fast and relentless. Alrighty. I think the only thing left down here is a guy with a gun. Oh no, there's a beast over there too. But on this side, the last thing we have to worry about is that dude. Now over here, there's a wandering beast man. That does it for the floor here, but before we drop down, we're going to want to clear out the outside here, because we're going to come back up through here, and there are some dudes out here that will give you a bad day. I want to try to get him fast, because there's a beast man. He'll come for you. If you come this way, you're fairly safe from being attacked from the rear, because I don't think there's a way to get to you from the rear over there. Well, I mean, really, the guy with the guns are the bigger threat because of their range. But I'd like to... I mean, I saw him walking over here. Did he stop? Is he hanging out somewhere? And did he fall? He fell. Ah! Well, eat some fire. You weasel. Sweet. Alright, we'll grab that collectible. There are a handful of other collectibles that you can get out here. We're not going to worry about those right now. We'll get those when we finish the level. Right now we want to go down there and get... the things we dropped. I think you can drop down here and not have there be any rats in the hole. One rat, not a problem. There's one of these cubby holes that has 2 or 3. Yeah. Alright, that's not the good drop. I mean, it's a good drop, but it's not. Oh shoot! What did I do? Oh, I don't have any more blood vials. Or Molotovs rather. All right, so we're gonna go. We're gonna have to kill these guys the old-fashioned way. Come on. Get another Madman's Knowledge. So there are 2 potential Madman Knowledges you can get without beating a boss. Or without encountering a boss. You'll get it just for encountering the boss. And then he'll kill you, send you back to the Hunter's Dream, and the doll will be active, which is all well and good, but you'll have no blood echoes to spend. So, kind of a catch-22. Now you'll actually have blood echoes to spend. We're going to drop down from the other side this time, because I think it's this hole on this side that has no wraps. Whoops. That one has 3, unfortunately. You can try to aggro one of them out, because 3 will mess you up. 3 will give you a bad day. Come on. These aren't just rats. These are really gross, like, plague-ridden rats. They're gross. The Saw Spear is the first non-starter weapon you encounter in the game. And it works very much like the Saw Cleaver, but I think it goes more off skill. The good thing about it, even though I'm not going to use it, and this, it has a lunging attack, a piercing attack that the Saw Cleaver doesn't have, and later in the game there are some enemies that are really susceptible to those types of attacks. And if you look at it, you can see the scaling down there under attribute bonus. The Saw Cleaver scales D with strength and E with skill, and the Saw Spear scales D with E with both of them. So it scales a little bit better with skill than the Saw Cleaver does. But it seems to be, even though they're both rated D, it seems to be a little bit worse for strength. So very similar, has lower base damage. I'm going to stick with the Saw Cleaver. But going to the Saw Spear is definitely not a bad thing. It's faster than the Saw Cleaver. So if you're having a hard time parrying and you want to focus on spamming bosses, the Saw Cleaver is, the Saw Spear is definitely a good option. That said, definitely practice your parrying. It can be vital to success later in the game. But if you're having trouble with it, you want fast weapons. And the Saw Spear is the fastest, most balanced weapon. The Threaded Cane is faster, but it has much lower damage. Alright, so we're going to put this over here. Then we're going to head to the last thing we're going to do for the day. You come all the way over here and it's just oil urns. That's what bugs me about this area. It's way out of the way. You gotta kill a bunch of crows to get there, and it's stupid oil urns. Drop down here. Bloodstone shard is worth it, though. Drop down here. And, oh yeah, we knocked a crow down here, didn't we? Fall down there. But you'll notice, you should recognize this place. This is where we came down. So up there is where we got the armor. Then we dropped down here and came up here to go up there to fight the crows and get the first bit of insight. We are back here now. And really, we're just going to shoot down. Shoot down here, and take a detour down here. Get a bloodstone shard. Ooh. You don't have to fight these sludge zombies. I don't think they're really worth it. It takes a lot to kill them, and they don't give you a whole lot. Now down there is a very intimidating shadow. The first time I saw that, I freaked out. He's really not all that difficult, though. You just want to run down here, because you don't want to get stuck in the tunnel with him, because he is capable of tremendous damage. What you want to do, you want to try to get his butt. The pigs, among all other creatures, you'll want the sweet pig butt. Because the visceral attacks do tremendous damage, and they themselves do tremendous damage. They will one-shot you if they catch you. So we get our first badge here, the Saw Hunter badge. The more every badge you get opens up things in the storefront. And where is it? The Saw Hunter badge. There we go. Badge crafted long ago at the workshop. Attest to one's prowess as a hunter of beasts. The workshop is gone, and no group recognizes this meaningless badge except the messengers in the bath who understand its profundity. Certain things can also be entrusted with a hunt. Certain things can only be entrusted to a hunter in possession of this badge, or so they believe. So the more badges you have, the more things the messengers will try to sell you in their shop. So we are going to open up the final shortcut, so that we'll have access to this entire level through shortcuts through here. Now, there's another way, if you're... First we're going to come up here. Like that, do that. He's going to mess up his buddy with fire, and then we're just going to come in and one-shot him. Like hit. Blood vial to top off. And there's a group of enemies on that bridge. They're probably all dead now. Okay, so... I'm going to try one thing. There's a group, there's two beastmen up here that, as a general rule, are not difficult to beat if you attack them in the manner in which I'm going to attack them. But it would suck to die on the last little bit of this run. Attack him. Visceral attack. Then dodge. Get out of that dude's way. There we go. Oh, shoot. Hunter's Mark, Bloodstone Shard, Bloodstone Shard. Good. They are worth killing. Those shards are worth it. Don't go up these stairs. That leads to another boss. So we've unlocked 2 bosses in Central Yharnam so far. I'm not going to fight either of them in this video. Instead, I'm going to try to do a tactics video for bosses. Where, you know, like I said, there's multiple ways to beat everything in this game. So I want to show how there are multiple ways to beat bosses. So we'll activate this in a minute. But if you come down here, see down there? That's the sewer we ran through. And underneath here is the tunnel that we fought the pig in. If you're having trouble with the pig, use these stairs to come up. That's the tunnel that you go down to fight the pig. There are the stairs right next to it. Come up these stairs. Come up here. Now remember, he's going to send a flying boulder. So you want to run about halfway to right about before the guys come up to you. Then you want to run back and get off to the side. And hopefully that flaming ball will kill most of the enemies. Just finish off whatever doesn't die. Come up here. You'll have to deal with the ogre and the shield guy. And I'll show you this maybe when we come up here to fight this boss. Maybe I'll do something similar. Then go down there, and you can come up behind him. Because remember, he's facing the other direction. If you walk like this, you'd walk right up behind him, backstab him, and visceral attack him. So that is an alternate strategy for the pig. Now we just have 2 monsters left on this entire level, and we'll killed everything, minus the sludge zombies, which I don't really think are worth it. They have a tremendous amount of hit points, do a decent amount of damage, and their drops kind of suck, so I ignore them. There are 2 ogres up here. You can fight them, you cannot. Entirely up to you. I find them I like to kill them. They give you a decent amount of blood echoes, and they are really good for blood vials. Sometimes you get shining coins off them. They used to be better for blood vials. They used to give you 4 almost every time. I don't know if in a patch they decided that was too much and made it so they give you more along the lines of the 2 to 3 that we saw. Then you come back up here, and we are right back at the beginning. We've actually cleared out everything in Central Yharnam except for the 2 bosses. We'll go back to the Hunter's Dream. Gonna do a couple things before I sign off. We're gonna level up our character, we're gonna level up our weapon, and we'll take a look at the shop to see how it's expanded. So as you can see now, the doll is alive, and we have we got the Reckoning Bell and the Silencing Bell. That's good for multiplayer, because it requires insight to use a summoning bell to get somebody over to you. Now, you see Garmin is not here. It's not because I killed him last time we were here. He sometimes goes out and does his own thing. You'll find him, like, out in the garden somewhere. Come over here. Sometimes you'll see him vegging out. Oh yeah, if you come here, when you'll eventually get things you can give the messengers. That's where you give it to them. I never really did a whole lot with it, but you can. And Garmin is somewhere around here. He doesn't often move. He's usually right in that same place. The doll will sometimes move as well. Sometimes she'll be up there, like praying at a grave. You deal with the doll a lot more than German, so you notice more when she's gone. Oh shoot, I don't know. He's around here somewhere. And the next time we come back to the dream, odds are he'll be back in up there anyway. But anyway, it's not because I killed him. He's just out doing old man stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do, you want to come back here to repair your weapon routinely, so it doesn't break on you. And I think the more damage it's taken, the less damage it does. The lower its durability is, the lower the damage it does. But we don't need to do that because we're going to fortify it. When you fortify a weapon, you automatically repair it. So you saw it takes bloodstone shards to level up your weapon. So we got ours up to level 2. We need 4 more bloodstone shards to get it to level 3. And it opens up gem slots. We don't have any gems right now, so it doesn't even give it as an option. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Huh. I thought when you fortified your weapon, it automatically repaired it. Apparently it doesn't. So you want to be sure to repair your weapon even if you fortify it. And now we are going to consume all these cold bloods. Then we are going to level up. I'm not going to use another Madman's Knowledge because there's no real difference between 1 or 2 Madman's Knowledge at this point. Go up here and talk to the doll.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood. and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit.
Alright, so we're going to channel Blood Echoes.
Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes.
I like to go for damage output in these early builds. So I try to keep it even between strength and skill. As you can see, the Saw Spear is actually outpacing, at least with the, yeah, even with, the Saw Spear is actually doing more damage. You see right hand weapon 1, right hand weapon 2, left hand, yeah, right hand weapon 1, right hand weapon 2. The Saw Spear is actually doing 20 more damage. Even if you strength focus, it's doing more damage. That's very interesting. Like a significant amount of extra damage. So I'm going to leave them both at 17, and I will raise... We're doing okay on stamina, so I'm going to get us just a little bit more health. So I'll have 17 strength, 17 skill, and 11 vitality. And then we're going to have to decide if the Saw Spear is doing that much more damage. That's considerable. And then you can see we've got some extra things here now. We're going to have all the starting weapons available to buy, and the Saw Spear, now that we got that Saw Hunter's badge. And that's it. That's clearing out Central Yharnam in the way that I find to be the most efficient. Again, more than one way to do everything. But that's how I like to do it. You get the armor early, you get that insight early. So you could level up anytime after you get that Madman's knowledge. And that will make the rest of the level that much easier, obviously. So I guess my goal now is to do some boss videos. Show different strategies for defeating the bosses. There's 2 bosses up. I won't name them to prevent any spoilers. But, I don't know. That's my plan. We'll see if I go through with it sooner or later. I've got some other videos I want to do as well. But there it is. Central Yharnam. Hope you enjoyed it.